Good morning to everyone. Today we are going to learn about alkanes because in last class we have almost finished the naming of hydrocarbons and alkanes, whatever we have tried to, or naming of organic compounds. Okay, so just I didn't give you one thing regarding the naming, just one thing, that is the priority table for the functional groups. That is available in everywhere, or even in some of any of the class I can give you the priority table. That means most priority is given to the carboxylic acid, so rest of the things are already I have mentioned which one gets the more priority. So if you have the priority table in your hand, then that is fine, but I think already I have discussed in every classes which one should get more priority. Today we will go learn about the alkanes. That means what is alkanes or what are alkanes? In that case, I will give you some basic idea where we can get the alkanes, what are the structures. To find out the structure or to discuss the structure, we will follow the hybridization method or hybridization rule. So we know in case of methane or any alkane, we have the hybridization sp3 hybridization. So I will show you how the sp3 hybridization can be formed. I will show two different examples for methane and ethane. So let's start with the alkane. What are the basic idea? What are alkanes? Alkanes, when I have mm, taught you the naming of organic compounds in the first lecture, I have mentioned about the hydrocarbon or alkanes. That means the compounds containing only hydrogen and carbon having single bond. All the bonds in a organic compound containing hydrogen and carbon having single bond, that is known as alkane. So normally we know the valency of a carbon atom is 4. So if all the valencies are saturated with hydrogen or carbon, just only single bond, that means all of them will have the single bond. Therefore that types of compound are known as alkanes. So if we put different components, definitely we will consider hydrogen and carbon. So all the valencies, carbon has 4 valencies and all the valencies are saturated or occupied by either hydrogen or carbon. So that types of compounds are considered as alkanes. Alkanes are organic compounds that consist of single bonded carbon and hydrogen atoms. The formula for alkanes, or general formula, I would say general formula, not the formula. So general formula of alkanes are CnH2n plus 2. So if you put the value of n from 1 to any number, you can get different member of the alkanes. So if we put, but if you put n equals 0, in that case there is nothing exist, only the C, even no compound will be there, because if you consider Cn, that means C0 and H2n plus 2, that has nothing, no meaning. So we have to consider the value of n from n equal 1 up to n, or you can put any number from 1. So n equal 1, we can get, what will find out, n equal 1 C1 H2 into 1 plus 2, that means C4 CH4, that will give you the methane. Similarly if you put n equal 5, then let's see what becomes the formula. C5 and H, 5 into 2 into 5, 10 plus 2, so 12. So C5H12, that will give you the pentane. So this is the general formula of alkanes. if you put any value for n, then you can get a successive alkane member of the alkanes. So alkanes are comprised of a series of compounds. Actually, that if you consider a homologous series. Homologous series, that means, are you familiar with the homologous series? Again, we are studying the what are alkanes. Alkanes are compounds containing carbon and hydrogen, just bonded, single bonded. So there will be no other components like other oxygen or have something else. Just alkanes containing compound containing hydrogen and carbon and having single bonds in between carbon and hydrogen. So the general formula of alkanes are CnH2n plus 2, and subdivided into, it can have different types of alkanes: branched alkane, cyclic alkanes, or normal chain. So just we will define one of them and we will have the examples. So what are alkanes? Already mentioned. The alkanes have a general formula. Alkanes have the general formula CnH2n plus 2. If you put the value of n from 1 to any number, you will get a successive number for the alkanes or successive member of the alkanes. So alkanes are comprised of a series of compounds that contain carbon and hydrogen atoms with single covalent bonds. This group of compounds consists of carbon and hydrogen atoms with single covalent bonds, also comprise a homologous series. I have asked you before the problem in the internet, what is homologous series? Anyone can say about the homologous series? Anyone have the idea what is homologous series? Do you know what is homologous series?
Same. Same.
A group of compounds having similar characteristics, and that can be expressed with a general formula. A group of compounds having a general formula or can be expressed with a general formula, and also they have the very similar characteristics, physical and chemical properties. So that group of compounds are known as homologous series. So alkane can be considered as a homologous series because we can have the general formula CnH2n plus 2, and also we can have the physical and chemical properties of all the alkanes are similar, and it changes gradually with increasing the number of carbon atoms. So it may have the increasing or decreasing characteristics. However, we have the similar characteristics, so that we can express the alkanes as a homologous series, and the general formula for these alkanes are CnH2n plus 2. Okay, the simplest family of organic compounds. Actually, when we have started the naming of organic compounds, we have started with the alkanes because the alkanes are the simplest one for all any organic compounds. So the simplest family member of organic compounds are called alkanes. They contain only carbon and hydrogen. So we have different types of organic compounds that can have other components like as oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, phosphorus, or several other components, carboxylic acids and many other things. So but in case of alkane, you have nothing else, hydrogen and carbon. So they contain only carbon and hydrogen. Each carbon atom forms 4 bonds and each hydrogen atom forms 1 bond, because carbon can have maximum 4 valency, and one hydrogen or each hydrogen can have single valency. So the carbon forms 4 bonds with different components either in with carbon or hydrogen, but hydrogen has one valency or one electron in the outermost shell, so it can have only single bond to the either it should be with any other carbon, because it cannot form the bond with any other hydrogen. In that case, that one of the hydrogens will have 2 bonds, but that is not possible. So hydrogen will always be bonded with some carbon, but carbon can bond either with other carbon or hydrogen. So chemists use line angle formulas because they are easier and faster to draw than condensed structural formulas. That means sometimes we will use just line like this way. So if you represent a line, so one end represents a carbon, so you don't need to represent many hydrogens. So if you represent one carbon, that means if you use line like this way, so some line, in that case you can easily understand that they have at least 3 or 4 hydrogens, depending on how many hydrogens required to saturate. So chemists use line angle formulas because they are easier and faster to draw than condensed structural formulas. Structural formulas for alkanes can be written in yet another condensed form. Anyway, so first then we would like to know the occurrence. That means where you can find out the alkanes. The availability of alkanes, mostly the most important source for alkanes are oil and natural gas. That means that is difficulty due to the electricity, and right now we do not have current, and I am working with my mobile phone internet. So today it may have some difficulty until the electricity comes back. So just I'm trying to repeat most of the things, and also I think all of the information what I'm going to teach you today, you are familiar with this. So try to concentrate a little bit more. However, uh, if you cannot, then just follow the PDF files, and also I will provide you the video, because I'm capturing my video with another program, so that will not be affected at all. Whatever I am going to teach exactly, you will get the video, so you can get the video very well. So the most important sources for alkanes are oil and natural gas. So oil and natural gas you can have in different types of ore, or different types of uh, mm, minerals, in different types of mine. So oil and natural gas, oil is a mixture of liquid alkanes and other hydrocarbons. Higher alkanes, which are solid, occur as residues from oil distillation. Sometimes you can have some very high carbon containing alkanes, like as the uh, what you can use, the lamp, মোমবাতি, সোজা কথা যেটা বলি, so মোমবাতি, you can have this types of, this is one kind of alkane with very long chain or many carbon atoms. So one of the largest natural deposits of solid alkanes is in asphalt lake known as Peace Lake. Even the piece what we use inside the for the road, to make the road, that is also a kind of alkane, so which are found in different mines and also with the tar. Natural gas contains primarily methane, 70 to 90%. Actually in our country we have even better quality methane. Mostly they have 70 to 90%, but in our country, the mine what we have, these types of natural gas, or in our country the mines have very good quality methane, more than 95% around. So that is even better quality. So with some ethane, what can contain, natural gas contains primarily methane with some ethane, propane and butane. Some gas sources deliver up to 8% of carbon dioxide. That is little bit difficult. So if you have some more amount of carbon dioxide, you need to remove the carbon dioxide for using different types of fuel, because if carbon dioxide contains in your fuel, then you cannot burn into oxygen, or you cannot get too much energy. So you need to purify, and then you need to, and also we use carbon dioxide to stop the fire. So if you have carbon dioxide inside your fuel, that will um, uh, destroy the fire, and you will not get sufficient energy. Traces of methane 0.00017% or 1.7 ppm occur in the Earth's atmosphere. Actually, this is our environment, our atmosphere. About 1.7 ppm of methane can be found inside the atmosphere. That comes from different types of gases. It can come from different types of animals, or sometimes if you burn different types of or not burn, just if the different types of um, tree, or sometime rice paddy, that means paddy, if they are destroyed it in the water, then they can form some methane gas. So that can have, that means very trace amount 1.7 ppm of methane gas can be found occur in Earth's atmosphere. The content in the oceans is negligible due to the low solubility of methane in water. Actually, one thing, we have found several components, or we have seen different components or compounds inside the sea, but you cannot have too much or very less amount of methane gas or alkanes in the sea water, because the sea water is a polar compound and methane or alkanes are non-polar compound. Therefore these two compounds do not dissolve. Therefore you cannot get too much or very high amount of alkanes in the seawater. So that is the occurrence. So most important sources of alkanes are oil and natural gas that are found from different types of mines. So what are the structure? Different types of compounds can be found from the alkanes. At least three types. We can have three different types of structure for the alkanes, that can be linear and cyclic and also branched. So linear, that means one carbon combines or joins to nearby other carbons. So by this way they can have very long chain. So saturated hydrocarbons are hydrocarbons having only single covalent bonds between their carbons. They can be linear. So general formula for linear compounds, that is also CnH2n plus 2, and also for branched compounds CnH2n plus 2. But in case of cyclic compounds, these two will not be there. So there we will find out only CnH2n plus CnH2n. So later I will show you the linear general formula CnH2n plus 2 for linear and also branched, wherein the carbon atoms are joined in a snake like structure. That means snake, that means one end of one carbon attached to next carbon. Similarly another carbon is attached to another carbon. So by this way we can have very long chain hydrocarbon or long chain or linear hydrocarbon alkane. If you have one branch, that means if one compound, or sorry, one carbon is attached, but one thing, for branched you must need to have at least three carbons. So more than, sorry, not at least, greater than three carbons. So if you have three carbons, still you cannot have the branch, because if we consider here for this compound, if we add another CH3 to any either this carbon or this carbon, that will give you just only propane. But you cannot consider that like as a branch compound, because if you need to have a branch, then you need to consider one parent chain, then you have to another substituent. But here we cannot have the substituent if we have at least three carbons. So for hydrocarbons or alkanes, linear hydrocarbon, you can have the value of n from 1 to any number, but in case of branched hydrocarbons or branched alkanes, you must need to have the number of carbons more than 3. So at least 4. So linear or general formula or branched hydrocarbon or alkane have the general formula CnH2n plus 2, but in case of branched, you need to have the number of carbons at least 4 or greater than 3, wherein the carbon backbone splits off in one or more directions. That means here, if you consider this carbon and this carbon, this is the carbon backbone. If you have another carbon attached to this carbon or this carbon, then we will consider carbon, carbon, carbon. That is the carbon backbone or main chain or parent chain. But if you need to have a branch, in that case you need to have another substituent in addition to the backbone or the main chain. So wherein the carbon backbone splits up in one or more directions, the simplest branched alkane is 2-methyl propane. So 2-methyl propane, the simplest. I didn't show you the structure here, but I should show. So just maybe I can show you like this way. If you have another carbon here, if you have another carbon, any hydrogen is replaced by another methyl group. In that case you will have the propane. But if you replace another hydrogen by another methyl group of this carbon, that means one hydrogen is replaced by one methyl and another hydrogen is replaced by another methyl. In that case you will have the longest chain with the 3 carbon atoms and another substituent. Maybe we can replace this one with the methyl. In that case you can have the name of the compound, as already we have mentioned. For the naming, you need to mention the position of the substituent and then name the parent compound. That will give you the 2-methyl propane. You cannot have the 1-methyl propane. You cannot have, because if you have 1-methyl propane, that is exactly the same thing what propane. So if you have 1-methyl butane, in that case you will have pentane. So you cannot have the 1-methyl butane, that will give you the just pentane. So 2-methyl propane is the simplest branched alkane that can be, and further you can have many branch or many other components in the hydrocarbon or alkane. Therefore more commonly known as isobutane. 2-methyl propane, that has another common name, isobutane. Already we have shown in the during the naming. 2-methyl propane, which is known as isobutane, which has 3 carbon atoms as backbone and another carbon methyl group linked to the second atom or of the backbone. So as to form a T-shaped molecule, the iso prefix comes from the fact that hydrogen atoms misses from the central carbon atom of the isopropyl radical. So that is not very interesting or not very important. So cyclic hydrocarbon or cyclic alkanes. In this case I have mentioned that the general formula of this cyclic alkanes should be CnH2n. Why? Because if you consider this is a cyclic alkane, in that case we have 2 hydrogens of each. So that is very simple, and each carbon for general or normal hydrocarbon, in that case if you consider this bond is open, any bond, either this one, any one is bond is open. But for cyclic, that case we have the bond is attached to the carbon. So first carbon and n carbon is attached. Therefore their 2 valency is omitted, or 2 valency is saturated with other carbons. But in case of general hydrocarbon, we have this bond is open, so one hydrogen can attach to this carbon, another hydrogen can attach to this carbon. Therefore we have the general formula CnH2n plus 2 for general or branched alkane. But in case of cyclic alkanes, we have the CnH2n, and at least you must need to have greater than 3 for the value of n. So you need to have these types of structure. So general formula CnH2n and then n value greater than 3, wherein the carbon backbone is linked so as to form a loop. That looks like a loop or a cycle. Sometimes you can have very big ring, or sometimes you can have some like a benzene ring, that can be cyclohexane. That's very similar to the benzene, but in case of benzene we have double bonds, but in case of cyclohexane we do not have the double bonds. So according to the definition of by IUPAC, the former two are alkanes, whereas the third group is called cycloalkanes. That means general or normal chain hydrocarbon and branched hydrocarbons are known as alkanes. General alkanes, normal alkanes and branched alkanes are known as alkanes, and these are, or the cyclic hydrocarbons, cyclic alkanes, are considered as cycloalkanes. Okay, now we will see the structure in terms of hybridization. Are you familiar with the word hybridization?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then can you explain? I have shown you the figure, but everything is mentioned here, but I would like to get some information, or how you can explain the sp3 hybridization in methane molecule. Everything is given here. Can you explain from here? If there is any difficulty in language, you can use Bengali, no problem. Anyone? Okay, if you cannot, then just let me explain. sp3 hybridization, that is little bit different from the normal covalent bond, because in case of covalent bond one electron is shared to another component. Normally two mm, non-metal atoms, normally two non-metal atoms share electron with two other share electrons between them, and they form a bond. It can have single bond, double bond, or any other multiple bonds. However, in case of hybridization we have different or little bit different types of bonding. Let us consider how we can have the sp3 hybridization in between the methane molecule. First of all, you are familiar with the electronic configuration of carbon. If we have the carbon in ground state, that means the electronic configuration of carbon, that means carbon has the atomic number 6. So in the ground state we will give the electronic configuration like this: 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz0. Just if you sum up all the electrons, 2, 2, 4, 5, 6. So carbon has the atomic number 6, that means it has maximum 6 electrons in the shells, and in the first shell it has 2 electrons, so in the second shell it has 4 electrons. So if we have, but energetically this 2s2, 2px, 2py, 2pz, these three orbitals have same energy, but these orbitals do not have any electron in the ground state. So this 2px, actually we call this 2p orbital. 2p orbital, it can have maximum 6 electrons, but we have only 2 electrons. So we divide all the orbitals 2px, 2py, 2pz. So we have only 2 electrons. So 2 electrons are residing in different orbitals 2px and 2py, but actually these three orbitals have the energy same. And 2s2, though they are in the same shell, second shell, this is first shell, this is second shell, 2s and 2p, both of them are in the second orbit or second shell, but actually energetically they are little bit different. 2s2 and 2px and 2py, 2pz, that means these three orbitals are same energized, this one little bit different energized. In that case, when carbon is in excited state, if the carbon is excited by gaining some energy from other sources. However, whatever the process, I don't know, it can have different types of sources. If you heat up, or if it has some other source from the energy, or source from the sun, different types of energy it can gain. So in the excited state, the one electron from this 2s orbital, huh, the one electron from this 2s orbital can move to the 2pg orbital. Initially it was empty. Now if one electron from the 2s orbital moves to this, that means this is little bit lower energized and these are little bit higher energized compared to this. Therefore it need to gain some energy to move to the 2pg. Okay, so still they have different energy, 2s1 and 2p 3, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1, that is in the excited state. But in excited state they have four different orbitals, 2 3p and 2 1 2s. So these four orbital have different energy. Here you can see this is 2s, this is 2px, 2pz and 2py. These three orbitals have same energy, and 2s they have different energy. So now when this 1s orbital, sorry, this 1s and 3 2p, here you can see 1s plus 3p, if these four orbitals come close together and they combine to give four orbitals with same energized or same energy, in that case we will get the hybridized orbital, sp3 hybridized orbital. That means here we had different energized s orbital and different energized p orbitals. Now after combining 1s and 3 2p, these four orbitals are combining to form 4 sp3 orbitals. I should write down here as 4 sp3 orbitals. So here 4 sp3 orbitals. Now how the structure, here you have find out that the structure are different for all the, this 2s orbital is spherical and these 2p orbitals are dumbbell shaped. Now when these three orbitals and this one orbital they combine together, they form exactly similar or same shape with same energy, so that I have given all of them of same energy or similar color and same shape. Therefore they form, this is one sp3, this is another sp3, this is another sp3, this is another sp3. So four sp3 hybridized orbitals are formed. So these are the sp3 hybridized orbital of a carbon. So excited carbon, and after that if they combine to form the sp3 hybridized orbital, now we know one hydrogen has 1s electron or 1s orbital. So this, the orbital of hydrogen is spherical, so it can have or it can overlap with any other orbital side by side or face to face, whatever. So if one hydrogen comes to one sp3 hybridized orbital, then that 1s orbital and the sp3 orbital can form, or they can have this face to face overlap, they can have a single bond. So that is the single bond here, sp3 and hydrogen. So or 1s, sp3 and 1s overlap, they are getting one sigma bond. Similarly for this sp3 and one hydrogen, they are forming another sp3 hydrogen and 1s. So sigma bond, sigma bond, sigma bond. So we are getting four different sigma bond to form methane molecule. That means the hydrogen here one sigma, one sigma, one sigma, exactly one sigma. So carbon in ground state we have the electronic configuration like this, and for excited state we have the electron configuration like this. And when this 1s and 3p orbital combine to give four same energized and same shaped sp3 orbitals, then they can overlap with the 1s orbital of hydrogen to form a sigma bond or single bond. By this way the methane molecule is formed. So here we have four sigma bonds, and just I will show you in short the sp3 hybridization of ethane. If we consider carbon excited state, that means sp3 hybridized carbon, we have four different sp3 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 sp3. So if we consider two carbon atoms having the sp3 hybridization, so let us consider this is one sp3 hybridized carbon, this is another sp3 hybridized carbon. Now if two different or two sp3 hybridized carbon come together, in that case one sp3 from this carbon, another sp3 from this carbon, they can overlap face to face. So here we can have one sigma bond, so we can have a single bond. So that by this way we can have a single bond in between two carbons, and rest of the sp3 hybridized this one, this one, this one of each carbon have three different sp3 hybridized orbital, and they can overlap with three different hydrogen atoms to form three sigma bonds with this carbon. And for here we can have three sigma bonds with hydrogen. So overall we have here one sigma bond, here one, and there are three. So overall we can have 3 plus 1 4 and plus 3 7 sigma bonds in the ethane molecule. So by this way we are getting the hybridization of ethane molecule, or by this way the ethane molecule can form. If you have any longer chain hydrocarbons exactly similar way, so that another sp3 hybridized orbital will form the bond with nearby another sp3 hybridized carbon. So by this way one hydrogen, we do not have the hydrogen, so there will another sigma bond like this way. So you can draw or you can understand the hybridization of any longer chain alkanes or branched alkanes by this way. So I think we do not have more time, so thank you very much. If you have any question regarding this, then you are welcome.